Hello, artful friends. Today I have been sewing Idris, and I've been sewing this for my Juzo cosplay, the auction arc from Tokyo Ghoul Re. And I am running into a bit of a dilemma, so I was hoping that maybe somebody would have some advice that could help. Basically, I hand stitched all of the lacy frills. If you follow me on Snapchat, then you've probably seen in my story uh, about the frills. But my hand sewing skills are not the best by any means. They are what they are. So you can see where I made the stitches. And unfortunately, since this is the back of the dress, you will be able to, while I wear it, see my hand stitching job. And I don't really want that. I don't want anybody to see the nasty stitches. And I don't know why my camera is deciding to blur. It's trying to autofocus on my face, and anytime I block my face, it's like, oh, there's nobody there. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I should do in order to stitch with, like what I should do, because I thought about folding it over, folding the fabric over, and just stitching an Invisi-Stitch along those lines, but then it was making this weird little puckery Madoo. Let me see if I can get it to do. I was making this weird pucker, and I didn't know what, I didn't want that, so I'm not really sure if I should, how I should go about this to hide my really bad hand stitching job. I had thought about going out and buying just some ribbon and some iron-on tape and just kind of like ironing that on. But I don't know if that would really hold up or do the job. And I don't want to fold over the lace because it would hide a lot of my lace. So I'm not quite sure just yet what I should do. I know that the back is going to be, I lost my hanger. I know that the back is going to be just a bit longer than the front, which is not really what I want, but with how much tutu materials and whatnot that I have, all the tutu, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. But the tutu is going to still allow that to show. So I'm not quite sure here what I should do. This I'm not too worried about. I know that you can still see my crappy hand stitching, but it falls forward, so you shouldn't be able to see it. Whereas in the back, you'll still kind of be able to tell that I did a craptastic job of hand sewing. So I didn't want that to show. In the back, you won't be able to notice, and I don't really want it to be noticed, so that's why I was disappointed that it was puckering when I tried to Invisi-Stitch it. Hopefully, eventually, you will give us a real name, just so it seems like your subscribers are closer to you. I understand, why not? I do have a name for subscribers. It is Artful Friends. It is because you all are my friends. This is Artful Impersonator, so Artful Friends. And this cosplay, what is this cosplay? This cosplay is Juzo, the auction arc outfit where he gets auctioned off. And Here, I will hopefully be able to fix this up a little bit. I cut it because it was falling down and getting in the way and just looking awful. But I mean, I made it look a little more awful, obviously. But I will fix that. And then, because I bought this dress online, it is 2 sizes too small, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's what you get. But the issue is I was scared I was going to have to call for help because I put this on, I was trying it out, everything like that. I got stuck in it, which is awful. But I had to rip the seam, which is fine because I was already planning on taking it out in the sleeves a little bit, and I'll do the same here on the sleeve because it's really small and I would like to be able to get out of it. I don't want to be in it forever. It goes on fine, just getting out of it. I don't. The zipper does go down pretty far, which is nice, but it wasn't enough to get me out of it. So I had to bust a seam, which these seams for something that I bought online for rather cheap, the seams actually are super durable. So it was a bit of a chaotic moment in order to bust out. But I am trying to figure out, what do you all think I should do to hide these seams? And I know that they don't show a whole lot, but the stitch work is very obvious in real life. You can just tell that I made a mess of my hand stitching. Because I am not a seamster or anything like that. I can't sew that well. And I did want to use my sewing machine that is out to sew this instead of having to hand sew it, so that would look nicer and cleaner. The only problem with that is I am missing the tiny spool that goes underneath and you need it. And so my machine was like, I am not working until you have that. So I went to the store. If you all follow me on Snapchat, you probably heard the fun about trying to buy more of this because I bought too little. I hand sewed for 5 hours straight, only to find out I did not buy enough of these frills. But yeah, what do you all think I should do if there is anything I really can do? I'm seeing ribbon, and I think that would probably be my best bet, is to just go out and buy some ribbon that I could just hopefully well, not hot glue, but iron tape sew this. I don't know. My life right now has been just about cosplay and getting ready for con because I have an exciting announcement to make. If anyone is going to A-Kon, which is coming up, then I will be there. I am able to go to A-Kon this year, and I'm very, very happy and thankful. But that just means I really need to get these cosplays worked out. I also, over there, have my prop that is still in the works and everything like that, and I am making a tutorial for that prop. But I have the prop, working on it, and I would show you, but my room is kind of a wreck. But it is coming together, and I am thankful. Very thankful. Do you have a larger gauge thread and needle available? I don't actually know what that means. I can't sew very well, so I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. But I am trying really hard to get that figured out. Not really sure what to do in this moment and time. But you live, you learn. That's what I'm doing here. It's just living and learning. If you follow me on Snapchat, what is your Snapchat? My Snapchat is rad, just RAD, and then dash, just the regular little dash. I think it's the regular dash. What? Let me find out. I think it's the regular dash. Matuna. But it's Grady, the little slash. Matuna, but Matuna spelled M1 number 1 TUN4. But Rad Matuna, if that'll focus on that for a second, please focus on it. Well, I actually don't dash U in 4. So hopefully that will help. If you'd like to follow me there, I went to go get more of the lace, and whenever I had gone yesterday to go get the lace, the old lady was looking at me a little funny because I had, well, I guess it was the other day. I had these giant cardboard things, like styrofoam cardboard, and they were really big. And I was carrying those around, which were almost the size of me. And then I went to go find the frills, and I'm comparing the frills because I need them to be this kind of frill. Oh man, my hand's stitching. You can tell it's already falling apart. But I was looking for this specific frills, and I was worried that I wasn't going to find the correct kind at the store that I was at. So I'm comparing frills, and the lady who was working in that section was just staring at me really awkward, like, what is this child doing? And then I was like, I need 3 yards of this. And she was like, that's a lot. Okay, are you sure you need 3 yards? And I was like, if only you knew. If only you knew. This is a very, very long skirt. Extremely long skirt. But I was like, oh, yeah, well, I had to go back today because that was all I had left. Not very much, and it would not go around the full front. I got the entire back done in 5 hours sitting, and it wasn't going to cover the front. So I came back and I was like, hey, I need 2 more yards. Which thankfully was enough, because I didn't want to have to be that person who went back yet again going, hi, I messed up. I need more. So thankfully, this is 5 yards. Well, I guess a little under. So 4 yards. We'll see. Still a lot, but we're doing better. A thicker thread like embroidery thread could hide the original stitch. Maybe. I don't know how I would, with my skill level, I still don't know how I would be able to hide this, because I fear, like, with larger thread, I would just make larger mess ups. I wish it would translate on the camera better, but I haven't done the best of jobs. You'll know if it's the right person on Snapchat if you see me acting really weird. I have a really weird face as my picture. and I am adding everybody who just added now. But yeah, you have the patience of a god to sit there for 5 hours in hand. So thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was a lot, and it still didn't turn out great. I'm sure had I taken more time and been cleaner with my stitch work, it would have taken longer, and it would look nicer. But yeah, I have the patience of a me, and me is I just get it done as fast as I possibly can, and I end up with really bad stitch work. Some of them are like clinging for life. They're like, "Why have you done this to me?" And they're kind of falling apart. To be expected with anything I sew. Like this one's living on a prayer. It's seen better days. But I'm really wanting to do this cosplay. I've been wanting to do this cosplay for many months because I love Tokyo Ghoul, and I think that the outfit like this is just a theory, but oh no, and I just lost his name. It was there, and now it's not there. One of Juzo's little henchmen. What would you call them? He's little follower, but he's not little. He's the tallest. The super tall guy with the really ghostly, scary kind of face. Um, I kind of have a theory that he made the dress for the auction. And poor Juzo, because at first I had thought like, okay, Juzo's mom, if you know anything about Tokyo Ghoul, Juzo's mom wanted a girl and dressed him like a girl very often. So I was like, did the dress come from something he just had left over and his mom made him wear it or whatnot? But then I was really thinking, like, they rescued him. They probably didn't, like, oh, save the kid and the dresses. Probably not. So I was like, how did they get these dresses that just look so adorable and suits Juzo very well? And then I got to thinking of his little henchman or whatever, and I was like, he probably made that. The tall guy probably made that because I know Juzo can stitch super well. That child can stitch himself, and he can stitch outfits, but I don't think he stitched a dress. Have you tried going back over and maybe you just do a few layers of ribbon and iron on tape? It should work well. Yep, I tried a few different ways of stitching it and stitching it over and stitching some of the fabric over. I did this at first and was like, yeah, yes, that'll work. And well, then whenever it lays down, where'd my ribbon go? So yeah, I can't sew. I don't know how the world works, I guess. So I will probably just put some nice ribbon over it with some tape, iron on tape. If only I had an iron, but I can make things work. I can get an iron probably. You can sew a flap. You can sew an iron over and just tack it down with white thread. Looks invisible from more than 3 feet. Okay, I can probably try that. It's on stage. Sew in a flap. I'll have to see how to sew in a flap. I wish like that I had better understanding of sewing. That would probably help me in my cosplay life. But I learned a little bit as a kid, a little bit, and obviously it didn't translate into adulthood. So I kind of lost it all. And I should have taken more notes. I now know how to Invisistitch, bless, but I still don't know how to make things look perfect. But yeah, I'm getting a text. I'm getting a text of donkeys. Okay then. Also, if you hear a weird pooting noise, it is not me, and I'm not just saying that, but if you hear a weird pooting noise, my window today has decided, first of all, I live in an apartment, and the window was put in upside down. The whole window apparatus thing was put in upside down, and so my window doesn't really close. It just kind of it'll fall inward. It's supposed to be a slide up and down. It just falls inward. No idea, but I have it duct taped, and the wind today has decided I'm going to sing for you through the window. So that's just been a delight. But, I mean, my birds are seeming to be okay with it. Every time I have a hot drink at the shop pain in my doctors reply, then take the spoon out. Nice. How do you put a window in upside down? I wish I knew how they put it in upside down. I really wish I did. We didn't realize it was put in upside down until one day trying to open it, it just fell. And I was like, how does this happen? And then trying to put it back in, and that should be easy with a slide up and down window. A lot of people have those, and it's normal. But couldn't seem to get it in or anything like that, and then realized that yeah, it is put in the whole entire thing is upside down, yet the window that's supposed to slide up and down, it can't go in it for some reason. So yeah, having it taped. Classic. But also this apartment, there's carpet in my bathroom. I don't know who thought carpet in a bathroom was a good idea. I've lived here for a few years now. I'm soon going to move. Bless. But yeah, carpet in the bathroom mildews. So I don't understand why they... Oh, there's a bathtub. Let's put some carpet down beside it. We'll never understand the world completely. How to describe? Think of a little extra fold, the over twist, at the cut end of the iron that down. It will hide the stitch line. You do is keep them. Alrighty, I will see what I can do. Thankfully, this outfit is coming together pretty nicely. I'm not gonna be able to get the shoes probably. I hope I can. We can only hope that I can get the shoes, because I can't tell what his shoes are. I love the artwork, I really do. That's one of the things that drew me to the manga was the artwork. Yet, the shoe, I can't really tell what Juzo is wearing. Because normally he just wears little slippers. He wears his house shoes. And whereas with the auction art dress, he's wearing these shoes, and I can't tell, are they boots? Like ankle-high boots? Are they heels? Are they not heels? Probably not heels, knowing Juzo. But what are they? Also, one is white, one is black, and they have little stripes going down the middle. For a cosplayer, it is just it's been a field day of searching the internet for shoes that would be like this, and then also going to thrift stores because I cosplay on a budget. So going to thrift stores and trying to find anything. Thankfully, I have itty bitty little feet. Really tiny feet. And so I can buy in the kids section, yet I still can't find shoes that will work. So I may not have the correct shoes for a con, but I'm doing my best here. I do have all of the stockings and everything because if you just type in Tokyo Ghoul Juzo auction, then you'll be able to see the dress that I am working on, and he's got these weird tights. So I'm gonna have to layer up the tights. I had thought of sewing them and everything like that, and then I was like, well, you've seen how I sew. And I was like, I'm not gonna, no, I'll wear layers. Yes, it is summer, and yes, cons are very, very hot, but I'll get over it. I'll stay hydrated. Juzo's fashion sense is interesting. Yep. Basically, like his normal outfits, he looks like a clown. He looks like he got inspiration from a clown, like that you would have at a birthday party type of clown. And yet, the auction art outfit, I really think that his teammate buddy made it, and it does suit him. It actually really works for him. I love, though, the fact that whenever he needs to actually fight, after he pulls the knives out of his fake leg, he rips that skirt off and he rips the wig off. I had thought about just doing that outfit and not dealing with the whole mess of an entire dress, but I prefer the dress outfit, so I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to my first con in 3 years, and I will be going with a long cane, not my guide dog. Getting there will be fun. Oh boy. Yeah, that sounds like it will be a adventure, but I hope that it goes well and that you'll have a lot of fun there and that it'll all be worth the adventure getting there in the end. I have to make the helmet from scratch. I also have to sew horns into the wig. Oh, so you're making Matuna? Sorry, I'm like the chats kind of ran around somewhere. But you don't have to necessarily sew the horns into the wig if you don't want to. I don't do it personally, but if you want it to be more seamless, try just a headband, make the headband horns, and we do have tutorials on how to do that, and there's a playlist, but if you make headband horns and then you cut holes into the wig where the horns will go, then you can put the horns on first, then put your wig on, and you don't have to worry about the whole trying to sew in, glue in, everything like that. Not me, my hair is short enough, so I made the horns. It took 3 days to complete. Well, awesome. I am glad that you are able to do that. But yeah, I thank you for the help on, I think I will probably do the ribbon technique. I just feel really, I don't want that to show. I feel a little insecure about my hand stitches. One day, maybe I will get better at makes perfect. Practicing horribly didn't make perfect, but it works. And I am kind of on a time crunch and a budget for this. I'm really hoping that my prop will be done because if this isn't done for a con, hopefully my prop will be, and then I can just be regular Juzo. My prop is his scythe, his big old scythe, and that has been an adventure and a half. Yesterday, I spent many hours working on it, and even had some help to work on it, and I'm very thankful for that because I don't have a machine that can drill holes into wood and whatnot, so thankfully I had the help, but yeah, it's coming along. And hopefully the tutorial for it will make sense when it is done. I've just been filming throughout, although I'm kind of scared now that I'm talking about it. I'll check later. I'm really worried. I just emptied my camera because the card was full. And I'm really worried I might have deleted my footage of my tutorial of that. Oh, I hope not. Oh, I hope not. Oh, I hope not. If I did, then I'll just, from where I'm at, explain what I've done. Because I mean, oh, I hope not. The life of a vlogger. Whenever your camera is like, hey, you're out of memory, and you're like, okay, well, I'll just take everything off of it, and then I will delete it. And I don't know that I took everything off of it. That would suck. But, oh well, I mean, I'll do what I gotta do with the footage that I have. Rest in peace, me. Rest in peace. I'm going to either sculpt my horns or mold them. I use clay for mine, but like I have seen horns be made in so many different ways, and I think they all work. But yeah, that's all my stuff. This is my life. This is my life. Okay, that was a little bit of Solix, but yeah, this is my life. I just dropped all my sewing supplies onto my bed, like straight pins. Kumbaya, cosplay gods, please be nice to me. Please be nice to me. I have to take about 5 different trains and walk about half a mile to get to the con center in London, a place that I am not quite sure of, so I'm bringing my GPS on my phone with me. Oh my Lanta. Oh my Lanta. Sounds like it'll be a fun con if it's all the way in London, but yeah, good luck. And I really hope that you're able to get there and you'll be able to get there safe and have a super fun con. Because that sounds like a ton of fun. Are you seeing anyone? No, I am currently single. And yep, like, I'm single. And that's fine. Like, years ago, before I had been dating, I didn't want to date anybody. I didn't want to date, just like, not that I am the happiest person being single or whatever, but like, I'm content with myself, I guess. Not so much lately, because going through recovery and everything has just been a nightmare being alone. Because I don't think anybody should have to go through recovery alone. I really don't. If somebody that you know is going through recovery and whatnot, yes, it is probably the worst sides of them ever, and it will not be the best experience of your life with that person, but it helps recovery, I think, to have people there and have people who love you there, because going through recovery pretty much alone. Like, I do have some people who are there, like, to just kind of, like, cheer me on, but I don't have anybody, like, go with me, like, sitting at the doctor's and talking to the doctors or anything, or really knowing exactly what is going on with the doctors and everything, and that is, I don't know, I know that recovery is only me, and I'm the only one who's able to do it, because it's my recovery, but sometimes, like, I do feel very lonely and isolated in it, just because nobody can fully understand what I am dealing with necessarily, like what I'm going through, how it feels, what doctors are saying, what I'm just, it's kind of a lonely feeling, so I definitely don't, I understand people needing to leave and people being hurt before recovery and just leaving and not really wanting to have any part of my life anymore, because all they can think of is the person before recovery and the person who obviously needed to go through recovery. And so, yeah, I became single. And at first, that really sucks, because whenever you live with someone for so many years and then you dated them for some more years, to have them gone and stuff like that really hurts, especially whenever you're told, like, oh, I'll never leave you, I promise that I love you no matter what, and then to basically be told that that's not true. It hurts, but also in another sense, like, they were hurt too, so I understand them needing to leave and just be gone forever. I don't understand why, like, I'm stuck as that person, like, why I'm always going to have to be that person to them. It's a little sad since I'm working my ass off to not be that person. It does suck that that'll be for nothing in there. To them, that is nothing. Whereas to me, obviously, that means a lot, and I'm glad that I'm not that person anymore, and I'm glad that I'm recovering, and I'm glad that I'm getting to go through all of that. Because it's a very isolated feeling, and it is scary, and to fear, like, because of what I'm dealing with, it is such a, not at all what I was expecting, and not at all what I ever wanted to deal with. And it's terrifying. Let's just put it at that, because so far there's no known cure for it. Like, you have to learn to live with it. And I mean, I am, but it is just something that I lived with. I seriously lived with it since I was in grade school. So it's weird, because I'm told, like, you've got to learn to live with it. And I'm like, but I have, and yet I didn't learn to live with it in a healthy manner that was good for other people, or even good for me. It was not good for me. And the thing that I'm learning through going through all of this is recovery is only for you and nobody else. So just because I lost everybody and I wish that I could, like, have them back in my life, my recovery can't be for them. It's gotta be for me, and so that if I spend the rest of my eternity with just myself, I am okay and I recovered for myself. And it's a lonely feeling, but yet if I'm single forever, okay. I already feel like I had true love, like, really do 100% feel like I already experienced that. I had that. That to me was maybe one of the only times I will have that. And so I'm kind of content with that and feeling like if nobody else can handle me or nobody else wants to date me and I'm not lovable to anyone because the one that I was obviously loved by no longer can and no longer will, and nobody else can do it, then I've got to learn to just do that for me or just learn to live without that completely, which I pretty much have because I don't have that. So it is alright. It is life, and life's a bitch. Everybody goes through their own struggles, and everybody has their own things of their own challenges and quirks and whatnots. Thanks for the luck. I'm going to need it. The con is MCM London Expo. It's loads of fun from what I can recall. And if you check out one of my videos of me getting about with a cane, you will see how bad I am with my cane now since I got my guide dog. Oh man. Yeah, I really like I don't know why you're not able to take your guide dog, but hopefully like you will be able to get around and hopefully people will be able to, if you like ask for directions, hopefully they'll be polite and give you directions and whatnot. I really wish like I could go with you so that I would be able to, I mean, we'd get lost together because my sense of direction is not that great, but you know. Would it be appropriate to ask what you were recovering from? I understand it's private. That sounds simply horrible. What happened? I am actually recovering from I have very extreme PTSD. I mean, guess not extreme anymore. Like, I do have panic attacks that go like blackout panic attacks and whatnot. You're super strong if you can go through them because I hate them. But I have PTSD and I also have DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, which basically means that I have shifts in my personality, not so much like kind of like bipolar because bipolar you can't control it either, but in my sense it is like I am a completely different person, which sucks. Uh and I'm learning how to come to terms with that. My brother was a soldier and still having problems with PTSD. Yes, and anybody dealing with PTSD sucks. And I know that I didn't have it as bad as other people to where it makes me feel really guilty that I even have it because, like in the case of your brother being a soldier and whatnot, I didn't go to war or anything like that, but I do have it and I'm having to come to live with it so it doesn't completely hinder my life and control my life, especially with having dissociative identity disorder. That is kind of one of the reasons why I lost everybody, because who wants to be with somebody who's essentially two-faced, well, in my case, it is six faces. It is many different people. And it, I can't blame people for needing away from that. And I see them as very, very lucky. And I have a lot of issues with that to where quite a number of my personalities wish that like they could be as lucky as them and be able to get away from me like they did, to where they've got me completely blocked. They want nothing to do with me. And there is a lot of me that wishes that I could do the same. But I can't, so that's why I am in recovery and whatnot, trying to overcome that. I also have agoraphobia, which thankfully through recovery, I'm starting to find myself getting over it. Obviously not completely just yet, but like I leave my house pretty much every day, which that even if you watch the vlogs, notice the pattern of a lot of the vlogs is just us at home. And then if we go out anywhere, I am with people. I am with someone else, and that is speaker, or I'm staying in my car. If I'm by myself out in public, if you watch the vlogs, I'm just in my car. It is because my car is my safe place, my house is my safe place, and so I put myself in these boxes to be able to go do anything. And so whenever I was left and left alone, that made it really difficult, and I went into uh to see doctors and go to therapy and everything like that. And it was something that I brought up of just like, this is something I want to recover from also. I want to be able to leave my house by myself, because whenever everybody first left and I was completely by myself, um, I it's embarrassing. Whenever everybody first left, I was unable to really do anything. My trash was piled up. Like, the downstairs was just a lot of trash by the trash can, and I felt horrible for it. And I was like, I need to go take that trash out. And then I would put on my shoes and get the bags, and then I'd try to walk out, and I just couldn't fucking do it. And that sucked. And I was like, this is so bad, because what if something happens and I can't leave my place? And then also going out to get grocery or anything like that, I just couldn't do. And I'd have to have somebody with me. And it's really difficult whenever you live by yourself and everybody's left. At least you can see. Me, on the other hand, can only see, or at least you can see. Me, on the other hand, can't even see light or dark. I will try to get some pictures of it and try to send them to you. I think I missed something. I want to say. I want to say. No. Okay. I didn't miss anything. Alright. I know what it's like to have something incurable and it sucks, but you're brave. Well, thank you. It Everybody goes through their own struggles, and everybody copes differently, and everybody's able to recover differently and whatnot. My coping mechanisms and whatnot came from childhood, and obviously you can't stay a child forever, especially whenever you're an adult. And so those coping mechanisms eventually have to go away, and you need to cure it and learn how to cope differently. There's no degree of having a serious mental illness, or at least that's my opinion. All are valid and unique, and how they are handled and how they have been handled. You are an incredible person for recovering as you do. Well, thank you. I try very hard to try to remind myself of stuff like that, but then like I go meet people or whatnot who have gone through so much worse, and I just always feel really guilty. People shouldn't treat you differently because of something you can't control. I wish that was the case. I wish that people would understand, like, even if they don't understand, I wish that more people would give people a second chance or a third chance or many chances for something that they cannot control about themselves. But during the midst of the breakup and whatnot, I was told, like, oh, well, I have somebody in my family who's a compulsive liar, and I don't understand. Like, I know they can't control it, but, like, why would you do that? And how could you be like that? And so, and now I've met people who are compulsive liars who, like, legitimately have compulsive liar. Also, one of my personalities, like, hasn't been diagnosed yet, but, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, with my doctor and whatnot, if they're also compulsive liar, because just the way that they will come up with bullshit is astonishing to me, because they can do it like that. And then meeting people who have that disorder and whatnot and compulsive lie, they also do basically the same sort of, if you listen to them and then you listen to that personality, it's almost identical on how they can do it. So we're trying to figure that out, but obviously I am not a professional, so I cannot diagnose that or anything like that, and I'm not going to, but I like trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I lost most of my friends when I lost my sight, and I know what it's like to be stuck at home. When I first lost my sight, I did not leave the house for 3 months, and I was very low, but now I'm doing okay. Oh my Lanta. Yeah, I really don't understand stuff like that either. Like that, see, with a mental disorder or something like that, where it's you're being rude, or because, like, let me tell you, having what I have, yes, a lot of my personalities, like, I shouldn't say a lot of them because I have six and not all of them are bad. Not every alter. No, but I understand whenever your feelings are being hurt, whenever you're being put down by somebody, whenever you're being treated horribly or whatnot by somebody. I can understand wanting to leave that. I have had to leave situations like that, and I do give a lot of second chances. I am a person who gives apparently too many second chances, but that's just kind of who I am, and I'm okay with being like that and whatnot because I believe everybody deserves chances. Obviously, I will only give them if I do see actual proof that somebody is trying to not do that again. Like what made me leave, if I see that they're actually like sorry for it and they're actually working to not be like that, then I'll give them a second chance. For something like losing your eyesight, I don't understand it. I don't even want to comprehend how somebody would want to leave somebody over that. Like that would be God, that's just that I will not understand. That one I just cannot, because you having sight or not doesn't affect how you are treating people. It doesn't affect how their way of life is or anything like that. It just that baffles me that somebody would be like, "Oh, don't have sight, don't understand you, I'm going." That to me, I just cannot understand. I sucks. That sucks. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That really sucks. So, what has been or will be sewn? Um, I am working on a dress and I was trying to figure out what I should do to hide the horrible stitching job that I did. And thankfully, a lot of people suggested like that I do use ribbon to just kind of like iron on some ribbon to it and hide it. I have a question. Does your Roxy prefer her martinis shaken or stirred? I think that child would take them one way or another. Honestly, like, the way Roxy is whatever she can get, she will take. She just likes the alcohol. And to tell you the truth, I don't actually know what the difference technically would be on that. Like, that baffles me. I've heard like some people definitely prefer it stirred or some definitely prefer it shaken. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know the difference. I've not had a martini ever in my life. Weird, I know. But I've never had a martini, so I don't know like what I don't know what the difference is. Um, but James Bond is awesome. Wouldn't she agree? Yes, she probably would love James Bond. The thing is that I still dream sighted, and I can wake, and when I wake up, it sometimes having my world taken away from me again. God, yeah, that sounds brutal. It's awesome that you can still dream sighted, just so that your world is somewhere, but hopefully, like, you'll be able to maybe just you still have your world. You definitely do. You still have your world, and I know that it is like I don't know because I'm not going through that, but it sounds so dark and depressing and whatnot. But also at the same time, you still do have a lot of people who care about you. You still do have a world around you that is full and is there to be discovered. Even if you can't necessarily see it, it is still there for you, and it is still there to welcome you into it. And there's a lot more to this world than sight. I know that sight is also, it's not the most necessary thing in the world. And you are very brave for even venturing out to go to cons. And you said that you locked yourself up for 3 months, and you are super beyond brave for having left your place after that because to tell you the truth, you are a lot stronger than me. It probably would have taken me a lot longer than 3 months to have wanted to leave my place. And oh, Emian, I see that you are leaving, and I hope that you have a good day. How are you feeling? I am feeling fine. I am excited to be able to go to con. I'm going to a con, so coming up, and I'm really excited that I'm able to do that. And I'm a little frazzled just on the grounds of trying to get these cosplays done. And I have also been writing in the midst of everything as well, and just kind of like juggling all of those has been a bit daunting. But I don't want to give up writing just for cosplay and stuff like that. But I've also been trying to find a new place to live and trying to find a job, and so I've just got a lot going on. But I am thankful for what I have, and I'm thankful that I am even able to still cosplay, and that I'm even able to go to this con because, to tell you the truth, this was not a plan. This was something that I did not expect to be able to do at all this year. So I am very thankful that I am going, and I am hoping that it will be a lot of fun. And I'm hoping to meet artful friends. So if you are there, I hope to meet you. Please do not feel shy to come up and say hello. Um, I don't know if anybody else from past Artful Impersonator, I don't know if any of them will be there. Obviously, I'm not going to have any part of like being able to go up and say hi to them or anything like that because they don't want me, and I'm not going to tread on territory I am not wanted on. So I'm going to just like, I don't know if they're going, like if they are, cool. If they're not, cool. Like, but if you see them, I do know that they have been pretty vocal about not wanting anything to do with this, like this channel or me or anything like that. So if you see them, like on your own discretion, I would say you can go up and say hi to them and whatnot. Just obvious no mention of me and obvious no mention of the channel, and you should be okay. Otherwise, but with me, you're welcome to come up to me. You're welcome to talk to me about the channel. You're welcome to talk about anything. I hold nothing against anybody and whatnot, so it is a promise you are fine to come up to me. But obviously, I can't speak for anybody else because that is for them to say. That is for them to what they can handle and what they can't handle. Is Nepeta nearby? My kitty is hearing your voice and thought you were talking about Nepeta. Nepeta is actually on the foot of my bed, so she is kind of close, but she hasn't been talking or anything like that. But hello, kitty. Can I get some lucky vibes from all the artful friends in KWs? My finals are tomorrow. Oh gosh. Bless you on your finals. I hope that they all go really well. Like, anybody going through finals, I really hope that they go well, because, oh boy, I know that they can be scary. I hope you have a great time at con. I'm going to MegaCon in Florida on Sunday. Oh, wow. Have fun with that. Might I add, I lost my sight 3 years ago. My sight 3 years ago. I have done a lot to get my life back together, and I have learned Braille and sailed boats and played blind cricket and have not let my blindness take control of me. That is awesome. That is absolutely phenomenal. I think the fact that you are, I know, obviously, it is not something that you can just immediately like take in and be like, oh, this is the rest of my life or whatnot, but the fact that you're saying, okay, this is the rest of my life, but I'm not gonna let this become just who I am. I'm a person who now knows Braille. I am a person who can sail boats. I don't know how to sail boats whatsoever, so holy cow. That in and of itself is amazing, and that you are willing to play cricket and everything like that. Awesome. Don't let any of that like not don't let anything stop you. If you want to become something, sight means nothing. You can definitely do anything that you want to do. Today is my last day of school. Awesome. I hope that you will have an amazing break off of school. I've never gone to a big con. Well, I actually prefer smaller cons. So the fact that you haven't gone to a big con, I don't feel is the biggest loss. I mean, one day you probably will be able to go to a big con, but I prefer the smaller cons just because you can get to know people and hang out with the same people and whatnot. It feels a little more homely. Whereas big cons, especially for me, they are extremely daunting and it's harder to find people in the crowds and whatnot, and it just kind of becomes a bit much. Like even Acon, I have not been to this one because they changed locations again. And so I'm that to me, like being an agoraphobe, that is actually very scary. With Tokyo and Tulsa that I'm going to this year, I know that convention center pretty well. They've stayed there for a long time. I kind of know what to expect. That makes it feel a lot better for me because I know where my hotel is. I know the ins and outs. I know where the calmer areas are. I know where the more crowded areas are. It kind of helps me to know what it'll be like versus with Akon moving again and knowing it's a larger place. I get really scared just because I don't know the layout. I don't know where I'm not going to be able to stay at the hotel for Akon, so I will have to drive every day. And that is also a bit of a scary thing in and of itself, but I mean, hopefully it will all turn out okay, and I I just will have to handle my agoraphobia as it comes. Do your altars have separate names? Actually, yes, a few of them do. One of them I forced to get a different name just because after everything that had happened, just trying to explain things before I knew that, oh, this isn't just depression, this isn't just self-hatred, this isn't just what I thought was normal things. Oh, I that one I forced to get a different name just because I did not want to keep having to say I am sorry that I did that and stuff like that because it obviously didn't feel right because I didn't do it, but yet like for my whole life with this altar, I'm always the one who have to apologize for anything that she does. I have to apologize and I always have to it's always my fault. And whenever it came to stuff like this, I knew that this isn't me. This doesn't make sense. That's not something that I ever wanted to do, happen, whatnot. But yeah, that one I forced to get a different name just because she was forcing me basically like probably one of the meanest people in the world. Like, not the meanest, but very cruel. And so, yeah, I did not want that person having my name at all. I am not that person. I never want to be that person. And that will just, it sucks. It really sucks. So, yes, some of them have different names. And one of them also just had a name. I don't know like how to explain that one, but yet that one still will respond to my name and whatnot. And he's one I've also had one of the longest and whatnot, and he tends to just clean up the messes and takes care of things and is very, very kind and an incredible person. And so since he already had his own name and whatnot, like well, the most detached from that one. Like if I could rip him out of my body, because he already kind of feels like he is ripped out of my body, of that's definitely just like he's an incredible, wonderful person, and if that could be me, that would be great. But yeah, the other one, she like I don't have as much of a disconnect feeling too, just because like she makes sure she's on top of me. Like she makes absolute certain that I can't forget she's there, and basically she's out to ruin my life. And that sounds so stupid and childish and teenagerish. Like, no offense to anybody, but like that sounds so stereotypical bullshit. But like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, her goal essentially, like all I can tell, because like all of them are supposed to have purposes and blah blah blah, and they're there for a reason. And this one, like, I'm like, okay, that one's just there to destroy my life, ruin my life, and that's about it. Whereas the other one, like, he has his own name, and he's there, I think, to just like take care of me and love me and make sure that I'm okay and whatnot. It is weird. I don't know how to explain it. And then I'm reading, as my friend Peggy always says, you can't sit on your ass all day, Peter. Get up and do something with your life. And she's been blind for 75 years now, and she sails boats with me and a few others. I mean, she's right. Like, that's something that I've had to be kind of on top of myself as well about is you can't just sit there because it's not going to change one way or another. Like, this is who you are, and hopefully one day, like in your case, like hopefully one day you'll be able to see again, but for right now, this is you, and you don't want to feel like you just sat your whole life and did nothing and wallowed in it rather than own it and don't let it become who you are. Be on top of it, dominate it, and say, no, I'm not the blind person. I am a sailor. I am a cosplayer. I am whatever I want to be. And then I happen to be blind. Definitely, you can own it and you can become who you want to be and not just be the blind guy who sat all day. Because I could definitely be the person who is the hermit who sits inside of his house all day because I'm extremely agoraphobic and very scared of the world and has very big issues and whatnot. And all I ever wanted to do was be that creepy person that just stayed in their house all day, and the neighbor kids were like, "Don't go in that yard, it's haunted, and that guy is always there, and he's creepy, and he never leaves, and blah blah blah." I thought that was going to be me, and I had kind of been okay with the idea of being a hermit in a shut-in and having a million locks on my doors, but then I really think about, like, I would have missed going to cons that really meant a lot to me. I would have missed even dating the person who I feel is my soulmate. And even though they're no longer with me, like, I still feel they're my soulmate, but I would have missed that had I just stayed the shut in. And I would have missed amazing drives that I've done just by myself. But one of my favorite things to do of all time is to go out in the middle of nowhere. And thankfully, I live in Oklahoma, so there's a lot of middle of nowheres. Go driving in the middle of nowhere, especially when it's raining and there's absolutely nobody on the road, and I get to feel like the last person on earth because nobody's around. For some reason, that's always been like something I love to do, and maybe that's just part of also being kind of a shut in and stuff like that. But I would have never been able to do things like that if I didn't get my butt off my. I used to sit on the couch, and now I don't have a couch, so I just sit on my bed. And someone who just is the dent on the couch or the bed. I don't want to be known for just that. I want to be known for just, even if I'm not known for anything great, I just want to at least not be known as the dent. Because growing up, I actually remember having a situation where I was, I stayed at a house a lot of the time. It was like my second house whenever I was growing up. And this guy had been living on the couch for a while. And he kind of, all I remember about him a lot of the times is he was the one who made the giant dent in the couch. Like, he had stayed there so long, and that couch had just started to, like, form to his body. And that's kind of all I really remember of him. And it kind of puts into perspective to me sometimes, like, I don't want to become the dent in the couch. Well, my scrolling thing is having a field day with me. It loves to just, like, randomly scroll where it shouldn't. Oh, I accidentally pushed a wrong button. Good lord. If somebody just got reported, I am sorry. I don't know what is going on. Like, I did not mean to do that. My buttons are messed up. Okay. How do you feel about artful friends messaging you on Tumblr? I fully welcome anybody messaging me on Tumblr. That is perfectly fine by me. That is why I have the message thing open. I'm back and got new headphones. Oh, awesome. I saw that your headphones had broken and I was like, oh no, I hate that feeling. Like, even right now, I have these headphones and they are broken. I don't know what happened other than I'm a mess. And as you can see, I'm a mess because these did that on there. These did that on there. Oh, what? Okay. English is my first and only language. Oh, headphones for that. Like, I wish I could explain. I wish I could have watched it dance. Like, I think in the middle of the night, like, a nice dance party. And I wish I could have been invited. But no, nobody invites me to their headphone dance party. I graduated middle school today. Oh, awesome. Congratulations. You are now a high school student. Welcome. I don't know why I said welcome like I'm in high school. I just thought about that. I'm not in high school. Haven't been for quite some time. I feel old, holy cow. Don't be in a rush to grow up. Don't be like me. You don't want to grow up. It's a trap. Once you grow up, you're always a grown up. You can't go back to being a kid. Sucks. So hold on to it, cherish it. I know you probably heard this from the old fogies at the nursing homes, but yes, you only get one time of being a kid. Cherish it. You'll wish you had. I know you don't think that right now, but you will. I'm actually wishing most of the comments, reading most of the comments with my braille display. Oh, sweet. I love technology now that they have that. And whew, that was worth a pretty penny. Cost you over $1,000 US, give or take. Oh my god. See, technology is great. But then again, the price is pretty hefty right now. I remember, I know this is completely unrelated to you, but on the topic of technology and helping people and whatnot, I remember way back in the day, back in the early 90s. Yes, I am old. Uh, I remember being a kid and one of my family members actually had brought their daughter over to America and she could only really read lips. Like, she was deaf, but like could only really read lips, and of course that is not always the best thing in the world, and not everybody can do that, and they shouldn't be expected to or anything like that. But she had learned, and then she also knew sign language. Um, but I remember being told one day there will be phones that obviously still corded phones. So they thought that would be able to, you can type in what you want to say to somebody, and then it'll transmit the message if they also have the same type of phone. So I guess your buddy has to be a really good buddy to get the phone and whatnot. But then you'll be able to type messages to each other, and that is how deaf people will be able to communicate over the phone. And I remember as a kid, I was like, whoa, that would be incredible. That would be amazing. I hope that happens. And then, like, watching Pokemon when it first came out, and they had the payphone with the TV. And so you could see the person, and you were on the payphone, which was still a cord. And I was like, oh my gosh. So not only will you be able to tape the person, but you can also, like, have the person there and they could see you and everything like that, and that would be amazing, blah blah blah. And now we have phones that do all of that, and people aren't just connected to a corded phone to be able to type in what they want. And obviously they don't have to be deaf or anything like that to use it. And I'm just like, wow, I never would have thought I would be holding the Pokemon phone just in the palm of my hand. I mean, I've got little hands, so obviously it's bigger than the palm of my hand, but incredible. That was a turning point, and I very much loved it. And hopefully one day, like, the coolest thing would be, what if we could do Braille on our phone? Like, on just our smartphone. Like, be able to type somebody, and they be able to type you, and it have things that rise up, and what that would be absolutely incredible to me. Because, I mean, yes, it's great that we can just type with regular text, but having some little bumps that come up and whatnot, like, I'm sure one day technology will get to that point. I've seen technology go to incredible places in my short time of life. I was born before the internet. I'll give you a minute to let that set in. I live on the internet, and yet, let me give you a minute. I was born before the internet. But then, like, I graced the planet, I was born, and then little baby me said, let there be internet, and the world provideth the public internet. And I was fortunate and blessed and very thankful for it, of my father and the profession that he has and whatnot. I actually had the internet before it was public, and I just kind of grew up on the computer. Like, that was my life, was growing with technology. And I am thankful for it. I love it. It is good. It is bad. It is. I slap my hat. Tech for the blind costs so much. Heck, a long cane cost over 80 US dollars. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, I know from, like, dealing with buying wheelchairs and other things like that for issues in my lifespan, but yeah, things like that are way too pricey, and I will never understand it. Like, even the prosthetic leg, I've grown up having to learn the costs of those and whatnot. It's insane. And then whenever they were trying to vote to make it to where having a prosthetic was a luxury, and insurance doesn't need to pay for your luxury to have a prosthetic limb, yeah, like, that bonkers to me. Like, to me, I think those should be some of the first things, like, we try to reduce price in, because they are necessities. You having a cane, I'm sorry, many people might not think that's a necessity, but in my opinion, it's a necessity. So why is it gotta be pricey? It baffles me. It really, truly baffles me. Something that I also like about Juzo from Tokyo Ghoul Re is the fact that they have him now without his leg. Spoiler to anybody who hasn't finished the first series or whatnot, but or second series, but season, whatever you would call it. His prosthetic leg and the fact that like in the auction arc, he has this prosthetic and he hides his knives in them. And as much as I would love to take one of the prosthetics, which I mean, I was offered and because I asked, and I was like, "Do you think like I could borrow a prosthetic leg for cosplay?" I'm gonna save it for a video because I do not know how around a con I would be able to do that, but definitely for a video I know how I can do that. So what I ended up doing for the cosplay was just the regular Juzo from Tokyo Ghoul, where he has black hair, short black hair, was I just kind of like put a band like your traditional sock, the stump sock, and I put that around my leg, and then I used foundation that was really crappy foundation, so it looked super plasticky, which was exactly what I needed. So I put that all on my leg, and then I used highlight to kind of like make it a little more shiny to look fake, and I went around like that. And obviously, I asked, I was like, is this offensive to you? Like, you have a prosthetic. I am faking to have a prosthetic. Obviously, I don't. Like, is this ableist? Is this wrong? Is this whatnot? Um, and basically was told, like, I think it's cool that there's even a character with a prosthetic. So, no, this, like, you cosplaying and trying to do it justice and everything like that. I'm not gonna hack off my limb for a cosplay, but the fact that like I'm trying to do this character justice and whatnot, and not just leaving out the fact that they do have a prosthetic. I was told it was like that's offensive and whatnot, so cool because I really like the fact that he has that and that he's able to use it to his advantage and whatnot. So what I'm doing for this outfit is I got some tights that actually are ball joint doll tights, but the knee part of it actually looks like the way that I'm gonna have it with his weird tight setup is it actually looks pretty authentic to having a real prosthetic leg, like the joint part. So I have that, and I'm pretty happy about that. But I luckily get all of my canes now from Guide Dogs UK, and they give me all the training I need for getting new places. And not this cane because it's too short to notice them from their waiting list. Short notice for them with their waiting list. Ah, okay, so like you're not able to get one because of only having 4 weeks before your con, they can't provide you with any of that. Okay. I mean, it's really cool that they are still there and available and whatnot. It sucks that it can't be faster or anything, but it is really cool that they have things like that available to you. I don't know of in Oklahoma where I know it's available, but like I don't know that it would be that available. So that's really cool. Maybe it is. I don't know. I know that I actually am really liking the 3D printing world now for prosthetics because I've seen a lot of really cool 3D printed arms with moving fingers. Because when I was a kid, getting to hold a prosthetic arm and kind of feeling really like this is kind of yes, it looked really realistic, but I also felt really bad because I'm like the fingers don't move, so you're just you've got this really heavy thing attached to you, whereas now like and you don't have to do the claw one because some people obviously are insecure about having the claw one. I understand that. Some people love them, and that's great. But I really like the 3D printing because it's lighter weight and it's easier to make, it's cheaper to make, and then the fingers move, which I think is so amazing and what I needed. Whereas I've yet to see a really good 3D printed leg. I am now seeing them in um, lightweight material, but I haven't seen like a 3D printed leg yet that I don't feel would break easily for the weight distribution and whatnot. But obviously, technology is coming along. I think that is absolutely incredible, and I'm very thankful to see it happen. Like, I'm on the fence of whether I believe in reincarnation or not, but I'm just kind of like, what got me to this point? Why was I born in this time period? Why wasn't I born back in the dinosaurs or in the future where all this stuff that we have, like this computer and whatnot? Obviously, my computer is obsolete to begin with, like it is old as junk. But what got me to this point? Like why was I born in this time period? And obviously that can cause an existential crisis, but you know. And I'm just going to try to clarify it right now because I just want to make absolute certain that everything is okay. Is this a role play going on, or is this like somebody's actually like? I'm thinking it's a role play, and I'm gonna hope it's a role play. If it's a role play, that is fine. I lack some clarification to make sure everybody's okay. Once my cane broke just before I had to cross the road. So what do I do? I ran like hell across the road and shuffled my way back home, which was not far away. Oh my god, that sounds petrifying, and I'm sorry that you ever had to experience something like that. Oh Malanta, I would not have wanted to be in that situation. So I am glad that you were able to get home and that was not far away and somehow were able to find your way back because obviously you know the area, I hope enough. So I'm glad that you were able to find your way home, but that sounds very scary. And again, I'm just trying to clarify. Okay, it's a role play. Okay, thank you. Okay, I just really wanted to make sure just because they concerned me there pretty bad. But I'm glad it's just a role play. But I am going to go to the store, hopefully be able to find some iron-on tape and some ribbon for this. So I am going to let you all go. I thank you all very much for the positivity and the love and whatnot, and then also for the help on this dress. I hope all of you are doing amazing. If not, I hope that tomorrow it's a new day. It'll be a better day. I really hope that you all do well. And thank you all very much for being here and for being amazing, artful friends. I will talk to you all later. Thank you. Bye.